I started Stetson in 2002, which was my first semester and Travis's last semester. I think I started in the fall of 2002. That's correct. And that was his last semester where he was going to graduate. And we ended up going on a date in January of 2003.
Oh, you got to back up. You got to back up. Balsa meeting, pizza. You want to go there?
Okay. So we would go to Balsa meetings, which was the Black Law Student Association meetings. And we would kind of like semi-flirt over pizza, like trying to get pizza, because what else do you eat at Stetson during lunch?
There's a lot of laughter in here. There's a lot of laughter.
Yeah, I mean, what else do you do but eat pizza? So we would like kind of semi-flirt.
Wait though. But yes, we would.
Can I please finish my story?
Oh, okay. But you remember, you got to talk about how I would dress up in the meetings in the suit, and you were like, I basically was just.
Oh, you want me to dress? Okay, let me talk about you. Travis would come in and he would be dressed up in a suit all the time because it was his last semester. He would do, I think he had a job at that time, and he was also the treasurer of Balsa. So we went on a date in January 2003, and we kind of left it. But there was a difference of opinion about what had happened when the date ended. And so after then, I was like, you know what? Let me focus on law school. I don't got time for this. And he basically was like, I got to take the bar. I don't have time for this either. At least that's what I thought. So we never really connected. And then we would see each other at the Blue Martini. If you're old enough to go back in Tampa, there was a club called the Blue Martini in Tampa. And he would call me, and I'm a law student. He would call me and say, are you going to be at the Blue Martini tonight? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be there. And he would come in all dressed up. It was his 3-piece suits and stuff, coming up there and, walking me to my car and all of that. And then eventually we ended up going on a date. And this part is undisputable, so I don't want to hear it. Undisputable. He had purchased tickets for him and another young lady to go see Usher. And right.
Those are fighting words. Usher.
So he had a date to go with her, and for some reason or another, she didn't want to do it anymore. We both know the reason why, but in any event. So then afterwards, he asked me, and I was like, am I the rebound chick? I'm like, but it is Usher. So I ended up going on this date with him to Usher. And then from then, he would take me to different concerts, wine and dine me. And then on literally December 10th, 2004, we officially decided that we would be a couple. And voila, the Coys were formed. I just love helping people. I go back, and it was actually a few years ago where things kind of clicked together, and Travis kind of said that there were signs. So I was raised in Brooklyn, New York, by my grandmother and mom, and my grandmother didn't speak any English. So at a very young age, as young as 6, I would have to travel around with her and translate for her. And when we had new members of the family coming in from Haiti, I would have to do the same thing as well. And I enjoyed doing it, and I enjoyed being an advocate. And it was just a few years ago where I realized I've always meant to be an advocate. So I advocate for everything. Anything. I mean, it could be, you don't even have to ask me my 2 cents. I'm going to advocate for it. So I just enjoy that feeling of being able to help somebody get through a situation. And JIBA allowed me to do that as well. As part of JIBA, our last banquet under my presidency, we were able to raise over $50,000 for the Moffitt Cancer Foundation. It was called the George Edgecombe Foundation, and we were able to raise over $50,000 for that event. And that just made me feel well, putting together that program, getting medical practitioners and legal practitioners in the same room at one time, which really had never really been done before. And then opening people's eyes, not just to JIBA, but to Moffitt and the things that they were doing. And you'll probably hear me at some point, I'm sure a question will come up, but I was diagnosed with cancer in 2017, and so I'm still dealing with that now. But I tell you, even with that, Joanne knows, I still give back to the community. I don't let it slow me down. I enjoy it, and I just think that, doing these things makes you a more well-rounded person and an attorney.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, just to chime in, it's just the relationships that come out of being affiliated or being associated with the Bar Association, especially as a young attorney coming in. I know for me, you kind of almost get lost, or you're trying to find your way in the practice of law. Sometimes you can't get what you're looking for, and it's not necessarily a fault of the firm or the office that you're at. You're trying to look for some mentorship in certain cases, and a lot of times you're looking for mentorship of another attorney that looks like you, right? And so for me, that kind of was a natural way for me to kind of transition into JIBA. I was going there looking for a place of belonging for mentorship, and I definitely got that, but I didn't realize over time how relationships develop out of that, and not just relationships but also opportunities as well, because I'm a firm believer of you never know what's going to happen in life, and sometimes you will need direction or relationship to kind of get you over that hump, give you over that bridge when you're kind of in between, between jobs or just in between, serious life issues, whatever the case may be. And so for me as well, if it wasn't for the bar service, I don't think that I would be where I'm at professionally, and also in terms of my further career path. So definitely.
I mean, I'm going to put everything on faith, just our faith in God, really gets us through everything and anything. And especially, dealing with cancer and literally being at Moffitt feels like every single week. There are times when, I'll get, tired or low, but then I bring myself back to my faith in God, and how, no matter what, He's always gonna, protect me and keep me. So I think that's my way of dealing with everything you named, heartbreak, all of that is through my faith in God.
I was going to say, Teresa stole my answer, but she knew I was going to say the same thing too. It's definitely my faith and just kind of having each other. And I don't want to be, I guess, quote unquote, like a Debbie Downer, but I do kind of rely on this in terms of, if I survive that, I can survive anything. So in 2012, I lost my mom, and then 12 days later, we lost our son. And so if I'm able to survive those things, then I can survive anything else, right? And so that's kind of how I look at it. My faith in the fact that I have a strong woman right next to me. And so, when things come up that relate to Teresa and obviously her cancer, I draw back on those experiences where we went through rough patches that I just mentioned, and how we're still here, and my name has been up a couple of times in Hillsborough County for judge, and I've been going through that process for 5 years, essentially since Thaddeus was born. And so I've been interviewed several times by our local JNC and then the governor's office, and just when I think I got it, I don't get it. But I don't put my head down. I don't curse out the governor. I don't speak ill will of anyone, because I know that life is about process. It's about timing. So whatever God has for me, I know it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. But my life doesn't end or stop just because I didn't get something that I was seeking or I desired. So as long as I got Teresa, as long as I got Thaddeus and my son TJ, I'm always ahead of the game.
The first year of law school, which I don't know about everybody else, but was really, really tough for me, to the point where I thought that I was going to, I actually had taken steps to try to withdraw. And I remember Professor Michael Allen, who's now a federal judge in Washington, D.C., had called me in his office to talk about a civil procedure test that I had taken. And I made a 1.5, right? Like a 1.5. I'm already feeling like I need to drop out. And he calls me in his office telling me he made a 1.5. And then he gave me the 0.25 bump for just being very active in the class. So a 1.75. And what he said to me was, I see a lot of potential in you. Don't give up. And based on that, I didn't. So the advice that I would give myself now is muddle through. It may seem like nothing's going to happen. It may seem like you want to give up, you want to quit, but everything, and I say this all the time, it's one of my sayings, Travis knows, everything works itself out in the end. It really, truly does. So what may seem like a very, difficult period of time, and that was one of them for me, was law school, I would tell myself, relax a little. You're going to be okay. You're going to be better than okay. Like much better than you ever imagined. So that would be the advice that I would give my law school self.